You cannot resurrect what you refuse to bury. I need you to hear that again, because most people scroll past the one sentence that could change everything. You are not stuck because you are weak. You are not stuck because you lack discipline or faith or intelligence. You are stuck because you are still carrying a dead version of yourself and calling it your identity. Every morning you wake up and put on the same costume, the one stitched together from old failures, borrowed fears, and names other people gave you. The anxious one, the one who never gets ahead, the one who tries but never quite makes it. And then you wonder why nothing changes. Here is the truth nobody tells you. The problem is not your circumstances. The problem is not your past. The problem is your mouth. What you say about yourself is not a description of your life. It is a command to it. When you say, "I am always tired," you are not reporting a feeling. You are issuing an order. When you say "nothing ever works for me," the universe does not comfort you. It confirms you. God spoke the world into existence. He did not beg. He did not wait for the right conditions. He did not check his feelings first. He opened his mouth and said, "Let there be light." And there was. You were made in that same image. That same creative power lives in your words. And right now, you are using it against yourself every single day. I want to tell you about a man I once knew. He had skill. He had strategy. He had opportunities lined up one after another. But every deal collapsed at the final moment. Every contract slipped through his fingers like sand. He came to me confused and exhausted and said, "I do not understand. I show up. I prepare. I do everything right. Why does nothing close?" I asked him one question. "What do you say to yourself before you walk into a meeting?" He went quiet. Then he admitted it. He would rehearse failure the entire drive over. What if they say no again? What if this is not the right time? What if I am not what they are looking for? I looked at him and said, "You do not have a business problem. You have a language problem. You are showing up in person, but you are sending a dead man to speak." I gave him one sentence, just one. I no longer delay. I now deliver. I told him to say it every morning, say it while lacing his shoes, say it driving to the meeting, say it quietly while shaking hands, not as a trick, not as a performance, as a resurrection. Within weeks, clients who had gone cold reached back out. Invoices that had been frozen were suddenly released. A client he thought had disappeared entirely sent a message saying, "We are ready. Let us move." Why? Because he moved first. He changed his words, and everything else had to follow. This is not motivation. This is law. Now I want to ask you something, and I need you to sit with it. What have you been saying about yourself lately? Not what you post, not what you tell other people. What do you whisper to yourself when things get hard? What names do you answer to when no one is watching? What story do you rehearse at 2 in the morning when the fear gets loud? Because whatever you are calling yourself, the law is listening, and it does not argue. It does not ask if you are sure. It simply says, "So be it." The old self does not die by time. It does not fade on its own. It dies by declaration. You have to open your mouth and speak it dead. You have to look at every false label you have worn and say out loud, "You are not my name anymore. You have no authority here. I do not answer to you." This is not self-help. This is soul surgery. There is a woman I once worked with who had carried the word broke inside her for so long it had become her religion. She did not say it just about money. She said it about time, about love, about opportunity. She had inherited the word from her mother, who inherited it from hers. A whole bloodline speaking the same curse in different voices. When she finally understood that the lie only lives as long as you give it breath, something cracked open in her. She stopped answering to broke. When the bank account tried to tell her who she was, she said out loud, "My name is not lack. My name is supply, and that is the name my father gave me." She declared daily, "I walk in divine timing. Nothing is behind." When the voice of too late crept in, she replaced it with, "I am the perfect expression of divine abundance." Within weeks, her countenance changed. Her voice stopped trembling. Her requests became declarations. and what she told me afterward has stayed with me ever since. She said, "I did not add anything to my life. I simply removed what I was never meant to carry." Read that again. You are not waiting for something to be added. You are waiting to put down what does not belong to you. The grave clothes have to come off. Lazarus did not rise because the conditions were right. He did not rise because he worked hard enough or waited long enough or felt ready enough. He rose because a voice spoke his name with authority and commanded him to come out. That same voice is available to you. But it has to come from your own mouth first. You want new wealth. Stop speaking the language of someone who expects to lose. You want real love. Stop carrying the voice of someone who expects to be left. You want peace. Stop making war with yourself every morning before your feet hit the floor. Here are 3 sentences. They are not affirmations. They are weapons. Speak them out loud right now. I no longer answer to that name. I cancel that role. That agreement is broken. Say them like you mean it. Say them like your life depends on it, because spiritually it does. Every old identity you have carried was a contract written in fear. And what fear wrote, faith can dissolve, but not quietly, not passively, not while you sit in silence hoping things shift on their own. It takes a word, a spoken, deliberate, unapologetic word. This is your 7-day assignment. Day 1. I revoke every word, every vow, every identity that kept me small, stuck, or afraid. I am no longer in agreement with who I was. Day 2. I no longer serve my struggle. I am not my wound. I am the word. Day 3. I am unavailable to be who I was. I bury the old self with joy. My resurrection has already begun. Day 4. The old has passed. The new has come. I rise today in perfect alignment with who I was always meant to be. Day 5. I walk as the risen one. I attract by identity, not by effort. Every old cycle is released. Day 6. I am not trying to change. I am already made new. Day 7. I am the living proof of resurrection. The old me is unrecognizable. The new me is undeniable. Speak each one out loud every morning, not as a wish, as a verdict. Because here is what I know after everything I have seen. The only thing standing between your present and your promised life is a mouth too afraid to command the burial. The tomb is ready, the word is ready. The only question left is whether you are. Speak it, bury it. Rise. The old is gone. I rise by word.